Greetings, Internet. My name is Chris, and this is my guide for White Gold Tower. On Veteran, of course. So, it's been a while since this came out. This came out in August, I think. Yeah. I think it was... No, not August. September. Yeah. Actually, I don't remember, to be honest. But yeah, this came out a while ago, and it's only now recently that I've been like beating it multiple times on like the first try with all the bosses. And I thought, well, since I've gotten to this point where I understand this dungeon pretty well now, I wanted to make this guide here, because of course I've made guides in the past for all the other dungeons. Okay, so we're just skipping ahead through all the trash here. If you saw that first pull, you could see that it takes quite a while just to kill the trash mobs, because they have quite a lot of health. This guy here is actually not a boss, he is a mini-boss. He's the only one of his kind, but there are 3 separate types of mini-bosses in the White Gold Tower here. This is the first and only one you will encounter of this kind. This is an, let's see, I think it's called Abomination. I'm pretty sure they called this type an Abomination, or a Behemoth or something. But yeah, he's pretty simple. You just gotta watch out for his frontal stuff and his poison circles. We're coming up to the first boss here. I just skipped through a lot of that time. This is the Educator, I think it's pronounced. It's quite a simple boss, although it does have this frontal stuff that will, if it hits you, will return and sort of like boomerang and go backwards again. So it can hit you twice, and it hits quite hard if you don't block it. You can see there almost immediately someone died from it in the group. Beyond that, there are these soul shriven. I'm not really sure what the ads are actually called. I think they're called aristocrat or something. I think noble or soul shriven aristocrat, something like that. I might be wrong. Shriven aristocrat. There you go. Okay. But yeah, so these will spawn, and every time they die, they will power up these towers you see to the left and the right. And these towers will continually hit you and all your party members. The more soul shriven that die, the stronger the towers become, and so it's essentially a DPS check kind of boss. So yeah. Beyond that, the boss also spawns these circles of flame or circles of fire or whatever. You just want to make sure you don't stand in that, of course. And then the most interesting mechanic about this fight is the fact that the boss here will put someone random in one of the 4 cells around the room, and what happens is that you'll be locked inside the cell and you will have to lockpick your way out, which is kind of interesting. Otherwise you'll take flame damage after some time. Okay, I think we're gonna cut ahead to another of the mini bosses. This is a crematorial guard. One thing that is quite deadly about these guys is their fire. You may say, oh, that didn't do a lot of damage, but if you watch the right side of the screen, you will see something called wildfire. Every time this guy does fire damage to you, it will increase in damage. And just before we kill him, right here, you can see it hits me for 15,000 damage. This dot that hits every second second. That makes no sense. But yeah, every 2 seconds. This is the second pair of bosses. I'm not really sure what these are called, so we're just gonna call them the Royal Guard or whatever. So there are 3 bosses here, and what we do, we have one guy taunting the person with the shield, Micella, I think she's called, something like that. while I'm taunting Otho and Cordius. Now the interesting thing about these three bosses is the fact that you can see these two in front of me are glowing red. And that's because whenever they're close to one another, they will glow red. This means they do more damage, as far as I can tell. Or maybe they don't do more damage, but they certainly take way less damage, which makes them really annoying. So you want to split them apart. Otherwise, it's gonna take a while to kill them, because Micella and Cordius both have, I think, about 1 million health, while Otho has 1.5 or 1.4 or so. So the kill order we're doing here is Micella, the one with the shield first, Cordius, and then Otho. Otho is kind of annoying, but he doesn't actually do that much damage. The one that does the most damage is certainly Cordius. And the reason why we're killing the shield one first is because she's very annoying, because if you leave her alive, she'll keep pulling you with chains, as you may have seen in the beginning of the fight. So what I'm doing here as the tank is basically just, I'm taunting both of them and then just making sure Cordius and Otho don't stand next to each other. Otho is also a healer, and he puts out this fire every once in a while. Both of them will, well, all three of them actually will drop these banners, and when they're on their own, they'll drop them faster and faster. Again, it's kind of ridiculous. It's like they'll drop a banner every 30 seconds, pretty much. But you can see here we're dealing pretty well with it. We're just down to the last guy. So I'm trying something here. I'm standing on this middle platform and using chains. Now you can actually chain these guys up here onto this little platform. And I haven't actually tried this, but I think that if you do that, they won't follow you. So that's, I think, a way to deal with at least one of the bosses if you don't have another guy taunting them, splitting them apart. So yeah, if you don't have another person who is taunting the shield one, the tank can basically just taunt Cordius and Micella at the same time. They will just take a little bit longer to kill, but that's just how it is, unfortunately. You can also see all the bosses here dropping Daedric Embers. Weirdly enough, that boss fight only gives you 2, which is kind of weird. This is another mini-boss. This is also one you'll only see once. This is the Scion of Wrath. Pretty much almost identical to Ash Titan and some of his moves. You can see he does this fire from above, where you want to avoid the big red circles, but you'll also have a red circle on your feet. And then he just does the new combat moves that the Titans were given in Update 7. But yeah, you can see this is also, I mean, these mini bosses, they're starting to feel a little bit like boss fights because they have over 1 million health, and they can kill you pretty easily. I didn't actually include the clip, but there's a clip where I get one shot as soon as I pull the boss, or the mini boss. This is the Planar Inhibitor. You can see here I'm going DPS for this fight. Everyone is actually. And you can see there's a different group here. It's because in this group here we do the tactic that everyone can do, where all 4 of us hit the pinion. So yeah, this boss is definitely the hardest fight, I would say, in White Gold Tower. The Planar Inhibitor, the reason why it's so difficult is because it's very unlike any other battle you probably fought before. So there's this pinion in the middle, and whoever hits it gets the taunt on the boss. But not only do you get the taunt, you also get a dot on you. This dot will build the longer you have it. So so you want to swap it out between group members, which is what we're doing. So you see all 4 of us are hitting the pinion in succession. And then we have one guy who's also healing a little bit. But yeah, so that's one of the mechanics. The other mechanic that also makes this kind of stressful is the fact that one person will get this, you can see right now, this portal vision. This is a theme throughout the entire dungeon here. But this portal vision means that you'll be able to see and kill these portals. Other players can see them, but they cannot kill them. The portals don't have a lot of health, but you do need to kill them quite fast, because if they're alive for, I think, 10 seconds, maybe 5 seconds, they'll start spawning ads. And if they're alive for too long, they'll spawn, in a certain fight here, they'll spawn a special type of Ogrim that will do this fire dot on everyone that will kill them immediately almost. So it's quite a hectic boss fight, and it's very singular. Like, there's no boss fight like it in the game as far as I can tell. Which makes it interesting, but also really freaking hard. So yeah. But so the reason why I'm using a different group and a different clip here, other than the group I was in the majority of the video here, and will be after this clip is over, is because we had a sorcerer with us who basically just shield stacked and tanked this for us, which was a little bit boring, I think. It doesn't really show off the mechanic all that well. Alright, here we're fighting the last boss, Molag Kena. You can see I read the Obelisk Tome, which is the hard mode initiator for Veteran. It only shows up on Veteran. The only difference in hard mode is really just the walls there. You can see disappeared because we're using an exploit I'll come into, or I'll explain that in a second. But the difference between hard mode and normal mode is the fact that the walls will be faster in hard mode, and let's see, and the storm atronachs will be faster. But yeah, that's pretty much it. She doesn't get more health or anything like that. Alright, so talking about these lightning walls, so there's this exploit. I think they're fixing it with Orsinium, which comes out on Monday, the 2nd of November. This exploit basically means that if you toss a a shard, one of the shards that give stamina from the Templar ability tree or class tree, you if you synergize that on top of the lightning wall, the wall will disappear. You also see here these walls, this type of walls you can jump over, as I'm showing here. Something else you can also do is you can you need a certain amount of speed to jump over them. You can also drop a negate on these lightning walls to make them disappear, which you'll see a little bit later. Alright, so that was another mechanic. When she gets to 60% health, she will spawn these 4 ads around her that will put her in a shield. You need to kill the 4 ads, and if you're too slow, she'll knock all of you out to the wall, which will instantly kill you. So yeah, that is one of the mechanics. So when she gets to 60% health, she'll do that. Well, she'll shield herself. Same will happen when she gets to 30% health, and after 30% health, you'll have 2 lightning walls. See, here's another mechanic. This is the Storm Atronach. She'll spawn these once in a while. They'll pick a random group member, walk towards them, and if they reach that party member, they will explode and kill them immediately. There's no way to survive it if they get too close to you. Also, while they're like following you, they will drain all your resources, which really sucks. But yeah, so she'll do that bubble thing here again. You see she's going to the middle. And when she does this, she will spawn the 4 ads, and she will also do these jumps. So she's gonna start off with a jump right here. That will knock you back a little bit. Then she'll do lightning walls for a bit that you can jump over, as I'm trying to show you. And yeah, a little bit right now. I'm failing also a little bit. But she'll do these lightning walls, and after a while she'll jump again. That jump will send you back even further. And then lightning walls, and then another jump that will send you back even further. And then after a while, the jump will send you all the way out to the wall, which, if you touch the wall, will kill you immediately. So that's also sort of a DPS race. It's not very hard to kill the lightning aspects or whatever they're called, but it is just something to keep in mind. So here you see we have 2 lightning walls. Immediately they get negated and they disappear. I kind of don't like that you can exploit it like that. I think it's kind of dumb. Like, the hard part of the hard mode is the fact that the lightning walls are really fast. But if you can just remove them, that makes no sense. Like, takes away the entire challenge or whatever. Anyway, so as the last thing here, that's the end of the dungeon, by the way. As the last thing, I'm gonna show you what you can use these Daedric Embers for. So you need 150 of them to open a door. This is found in the lobby. You see there. So when you open the door, it will take 150 of your Daedric Embers and turn them into a key, just like the other vaults in the city. And what will basically happen is that the chest will contain any of the 6 armor sets that you can find in a dungeon, and it will just have two random set pieces from any of those 6 sets. You can see here I get Overwhelming Shoes with Reinforced and Divine Spell Power Gloves. Fortunately, I already had a better pair of the Overwhelming Shoes. But you can see this is kind of interesting. Like, I think they should probably give you more than just 2 pieces, to be honest, because it takes quite a while to get enough pieces to open the vault. But yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching.